Hey guys, Cheyenne here, and I wanted to do this quick video to talk about meal planning. Now, I know quite a few of you have difficulties when it comes to planning your meals for the week. And I know when I started off, I thought that it was difficult too. I was actually working out and not planning my meals. I kind of just winged it. Um, yeah, and that wasn't working because then a lot of times I was hungry, didn't know what I wanted to eat, and I would just, buy, I don't know, McDonald's on the way home or something. Um, so then I started meal planning and I realized that it's not as hard as I thought it would be. It is time consuming at the beginning, but then once you get the hang of it, you just spend maybe like an hour on Sundays or Saturdays, depending on what day you're gonna do your planning, to plan out your meals for the week, and then you prep them and you're done. You don't have to cook for the week, so it's perfect. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you guys how I do it now, and then I'm gonna show you how I used to do it. So the reason why it's changed between now and the way that I used to do it is that now I have the 21 day fix. So I don't know if you guys know about this program, but it's saved a lot of headache for me when it comes to eating the right portions. You remember this week we spoke about how your plate should be divided. So with your veggies, your protein, your carbs, and how much food to have in your plate. However, that is great for supper or it's great for lunch, but then what about your snacks? What about your breakfast? Like what do you do in those situations? What do you do when you go out? What do just pretty much what do you do when you're not having an actual plate of food? And that's where the 21 day fix helped me. So pretty much what the program is, other than the 30-minute workouts for the 21 days, because it's a 21-day program, the main thing that it comes with are these portion containers. So every food group has its own container, and pretty much this has saved so much time and headache for me because I don't need to count calories anymore. Once the food fits in the containers, I could eat it. So pretty much the way that the program works is you fill out kind of like a questionnaire where they ask you, what kind of daily activity you have. So if you're a desk job or if you're a server in a restaurant, or if you're actually someone that's just constantly on your feet, not sitting down like a nurse or something that's just like all the time running everywhere, they give you a certain score. And then there's a calculation to figure out how many containers you should be having. So after the calculation is done, you come up with a certain amount of calories. And then based on those calories, it tells you how many containers you should be having throughout your day. So for me, I fall into the 1,500 to 1,799 calories per day bracket. So that tells me that I have 4 of these containers throughout my day. So these are vegetables. I have 3 of the fruit containers a day. I have 4 of the protein containers a day. I have 3 of the carb containers a day. I have 1 of the healthy fats, so like avocados. And then I have 1 of the seeds and dressing. So this could either be nuts or it could be salad dressing, whatever I'm having salad dressing. And then I also have 4 teaspoons, of let's say peanut butter or olive oil or anything like that. So it sounds like super complicated and wait, so many containers. So what do I do? How do I figure out what food goes in it? Don't worry about it. Super simple. The meal plan tells you for every single container what food goes in there. So this is like the purple one. So this is the fruits. So it tells you what goes in it. And then there's another longer list that gives you pretty much all the foods that fits in there. It tells you, if you're having a cheat day, what you could substitute your wine for, what you can substitute your milk for, like which type of container. And then it has these nice, cool recipes, which is great. So some of the meals that we had this week in the meal plan came from this recipe book. So let's say the chicken fajitas. Yeah, I was lazy that day, so I didn't put like the peppers and everything on my chicken fajita. I really just had the lettuce, the chicken, and the salsa. But this is the recipe for the chicken fajita, and it tells you exactly how many containers is in there. So the guesswork is pretty much done if you follow the meal plan. If you're like me, you don't really like following a meal plan. You just like to, have different kinds of foods based on what you already have in your kitchen or what you're going to purchase. Then in that case, you take your lovely flyers. Everyone knows the flyers still come. I still look at my flyers because I'm not rich. So I like to see what's on sale and purchase based on sales. So I would go through the flyers and see, where has chicken breast, where has turkey, if turkey's in season. If not, check and see if I could get some shrimp or some fish, fruits, veggies, and then I make my list based on what's on sale. Now, when I'm actually planning the meals, the eat-in plan comes with what they call tally sheets, which tells you it's where you can plan your meals. So you remember before we were looking at the different container allowances that you have throughout the day, and you can say, I have 4 of the green. Okay, well, where are you putting those 4 greens that you have throughout your day? And that's where you could look at the tally sheets that's in your eat-in plan, and you can say, okay, well, for meal number 1, which is breakfast, I'll have eggs, which counts as 1 protein. I'll have spinach, which counts as 1 green. And I'll have a banana on the side, which counts as 1 purple. And then you plan out your day like that. So you plan out your breakfast, your lunch, your supper, and then you put in your snacks in there. So I printed out tally sheets, and then I took trace crayons and just colored it because I like seeing colors. And this is pretty much what I used when we did the eat-in plan this week. So I planned out my meals. I said how many containers I have, and then I went throughout the day and said, okay, well, what am I having for breakfast? What am I having for lunch? What am I having for supper? And then I put my snacks in there. And then, of course, since I like to make more than just 1 serving, it was easy to just take whatever I had for lunch one day and put it into supper the next day. Now, as for ideas of meals, you could find meals so many places. You could Google 7-day meal plan, 5-day meal plan. Meal plans are super popular now, so everyone is creating a meal plan and posting it online. Another site that's actually really cool is Pinterest. I don't know if you guys know about it. Pinterest. It's an amazing site. It's an amazing site for more than just food, but just food alone, you could be on there for hours. So you would go on Pinterest and you would put in, 5-day meal plan. And then you'll receive a whole bunch of results of 5-day meal plans that people posted and is sharing with the community on Pinterest. And then you could just copy it. Just look at it and say, hey, do I like this? Do I not like this? And you copy it. That would be a meal plan that's already set. If you want, you can also decide, okay, well, what do I like to eat? Let's say you like to have spaghetti. Then you could say, okay, well, right now I have spaghetti with white pasta, which as we spoke about this week, it's better to have a whole wheat or a whole grain pasta. You use beef, but you don't use lean beef, you'll use, like a really fatty beef. Then you try to scale over to a lean beef or even to turkey if you can. And why not add some spinach in your spaghetti sauce? Or some, like, hide your vegetables in there. I know when Trey was a baby, I boiled some carrots, steamed some broccoli, and I pureed it and put it in the meat sauce when I was making the meat sauce. So that was a way for me to be able to sneak in some veggies into his regular eating, into his food. So yeah, let's say spaghetti is your favorite meal. Then you can go on Pinterest and see how to make healthy spaghetti. And then they're going to show you different ways. Instead of using the pasta, you could also use spaghetti squash. So that's like a big squash. You cut it, you put it in the oven, you roast it. And then when you take it out and take a fork and you shave inside of the spaghetti squash, it looks exactly like spaghetti. Why not have that? Another thing that you could do, you like pizza. Okay, how could you make a healthy pizza? Then you check on Pinterest or you check on Google, healthy pizza. There's pizza with cauliflower crust. There's pizza with quinoa crust. Instead of having flour, you can add either vegetables or a whole grain into your diet without even realizing the difference in it. So there's a lot of things that you can find online. I'm going to be doing a video to show you what Pinterest looks like and pretty much how I look through it. But yeah, those are the different ideas that I use when I'm planning my meals. And with these containers, it just made it like super simple because I don't have to think too much. I just have to figure out, okay, well, based on this recipe, what is the equivalent in the containers? So let's say I'm having chicken. Okay, well, if I don't want to chop up my piece of chicken, what is one container? One drumstick, to me, is one container. However, when I'm having my pasta, I will break out my container because I want to make sure that I'm not having too much. This is amazing for portioning out your food so that you're not having too much. And it's a lot of food. If you guys followed the meal plan this week, you realize it's a lot of food. But considering the fact that you're working out, it evens itself out. Because when I first did it, I lost 3 pounds in 1 week. And I was eating a lot of food. But I was also working out for half an hour every day. So that's pretty much what I do right now. So I go on Pinterest, I go on Google, I look for the meal plan. Since I'm doing 21 Day Fix, it's super simple to just put in 21 Day Fix, 1,500 to 1,799 calorie bracket meal plan. And a lot of people out there have created one. So I just look at it to make sure that the meal that they're suggesting is really a 21 Day Fix approved meal, because a lot of people would say that it is, but it's not. There'll be like a whole bunch of oils and yeah, so that's not really good. So now I'm going to talk about what I used to do before I started using these containers. So before, I would still go on Pinterest, I would still look at my flyers. However, I would sit down, pen and your paper, and figure out, okay, what do I have in my fridge first of all? What am I going to use up that I already have so I don't have to buy anything? And if I didn't have enough proteins and enough vegetables, then I would see what was on sale, and then I would say, okay, what am I going to purchase and what am I going to make? Based on what was on sale, then I would see what I'm making. So if I saw chicken, then I know I can make a whole bunch of chicken dishes. Now, I tried to purchase and make kind of the same thing throughout the week. So if I buy chicken, I'm gonna have at least like 3 or 4 chicken recipes for lunches and suppers, alternating. And if I buy, let's say, like steak, then I'll have 2 or 3 steak recipes throughout the week. And same thing with fish. So I try to maximize the amount of meals that I have with the protein that I have. And then fruits and veggies, like fruits, there's always a bunch of fruits in the house. I like fruits, Trey likes fruits, so we're good with that. Veggies is one thing that before the 21 Day Fix program, I never realized that I wasn't having enough. I would maybe have 2 of these a day instead of having 4 like I'm supposed to. So that's actually one thing that I'm really happy about with the program. It showed me that I needed to up my vegetable intake. My fruits, I was okay. My protein, I was fine. I needed to lower my carb intake because to me, this was very tiny. Like, I don't know if you can see it, but the first day I was like, how am I going to be full from this? But then once I had it on the plate with a bunch of protein and then a whole bunch of veggies, like, I was good. I was full. And I wasn't hungry maybe like an hour or 2 later. Whereas before, I would get a little bit hungry because I wasn't having the right portion of food. So yeah, I would sit down and see what I'm going to be making for the week. Go out, buy it, come back, and do my meal prep on Sundays. Most of the time, the food lasted maybe like 4 days. Like, yeah, 4 days, breakfast, lunch, and suppers. The snacks, I kind of just winged it. Like, I wasn't really paying attention to my snacks like I should have been. And they weren't snacks like they are right now. Like today I had sweet potatoes and beans. Like that would have never been a snack for me. To me, that's like part of a lunch. But it actually is part of a snack. It's your vegetable and it's your carbs, but it's healthy carbs. So it was good because it kept me going throughout the morning up until lunchtime. So it was perfect. So that's pretty much what I would do. I would go on Pinterest, I would go on Google, and I'd see, okay, well, based on the recipe that I want to make, or based on what I want to make, how could I find a healthier equivalent to it? I realized that doing that, it kind of stepped me out of my comfort zone, but I didn't mind because I was eating things that I still like to eat, just a healthier version of it. One of my popular go-to breakfasts was these little egg cups. So you mix your eggs with some peppers, some spinach. I used to put turkey bacon in it. I think once I did it with cheese, but most of the time I didn't want to add the cheese because I knew I was just adding a fat and I don't need the cheese. And then you put it in the oven in the cupcake holders. And voila, you have breakfast. And I used to have 2 with some form of a carb. Trey likes these little mini bagels, 100-calorie mini bagels. So I used to have one of those with 2 of the egg cups. That was an amazing breakfast. Like, I loved it. But yeah, I realized I wasn't super full from it. I think it was either too small or I wasn't having the right carb with it. I don't know. Something was off with that one. But it is a healthier version to just having, let's say, cereal in the morning or a bagel. Because I don't know if you guys know, but a bagel is the equivalent of 4 slices of bread. So when you're having a bagel, it's like if you're having 4 slices of bread. So I try to limit the amount of bagels that I have. Or I have that little mini bagel that Trey likes so much. So that's pretty much how I do my meal plan. Now I do it with the 21-day fix containers, which is perfect. Before I used to just kind of wing it and made sure that my sizes on my plate, like my portions on my plate, resembled this when I was having an actual meal. And for snacks, I kind of just winged it. But I realized that I most likely wasn't eating enough. Because it's weird to say, but when you're working out, you need to fuel your body to let it give you the energy that you need while you're doing your workouts. So if you're not fueling your body, you're kind of going into starvation mode. So when you start working out, it's not burning the fat that's in your body because it doesn't know when it's going to get more. So when you're not eating enough, you're kind of slowing down the work that you're doing when you're working out. So you're actually slowing down your metabolic rate. Metabolism rate, whatever it's called. You're slowing that down, your metabolism, and your body's not burning the fat that it should be burning. So yeah, don't do that. Don't, like, all these fasting, and yeah, I'm not a big fan of fasting. Because to me, you're not learning anything by doing that. You're not learning how to be healthy and sustain it. Yeah, you're going to lose weight now, but then when you start eating again, you're just going to go back to your regular eating habits and you're just going to gain it back. So what was the whole point? Unless you're trying to fit in a dress for the weekend, it doesn't really make any sense to me. So that's what I wanted to tell you guys about meal planning. I know that it's not easy. It is time consuming, but it's totally worth it. Once you plan your meals and even your vegetables that you're going to have throughout the week as snacks, once you plan those out, chop them up, put them in the fridge, whenever you do want a snack, you can just open up the fridge and grab it. You don't have to worry about, oh, what am I going to have? Oh, I don't feel like slicing this cucumber, so I'll just have these cookies. You know, like, you're not going to have that because the food is already there. It's already prepped. Wash your fruits before you put them in the fridge, so that way you could just take them when you need them and you're good to go. So preparation is key. Planning is key. So I take maybe about an hour on Saturdays and I plan out what we're going to have throughout the week to eat. And then on Sundays, I actually cook these foods. Now, I haven't figured out how to reduce my cooking time because I do it at the same time that Trey's around, so I get interrupted a lot. But I want to reduce the time that I spend in the kitchen actually cooking on Sundays, because I know that it is possible, because I've seen, like while I was doing my research on meal planning and everything, I've seen people able to do it in a very short amount of time. So I need to get there, but I need to practice some more. So I hope that this video was good information for you, and I'll see you soon. Take care.